What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me for another review. Today we will be taking a look at the Zastava m57, which is the Yugoslavian version of the Russian tt-33, the tokarev. I'll show you first. Do our safety check. There are no rounds in this magazine. And there is nothing, where's the camera? Nothing in the chamber. Just for you guys at home, yes, I do practice safety when I handle firearms. So I know some people get bugged out when people do reviews and they don't do a safety check. But guys, trust me, I mean, like I say, I'm not a professional, but I've been handling guns since I was 5 years old, and I'm trained with them. So I obviously check, but I'll do it anyway just for you guys. So a little bit about this gun. Firstly, well, I'm not sure how long ago it was. Maybe 10 years ago. It could be a little bit longer than that. These started coming into the U.S. Surplus. I mean, there was probably hundreds of thousands of them, and they just flooded the market, and you could find them for really good prices. I think I paid I bought this online, and there was 3 different conditions that they had. They had I think like almost like mint or unissued, never issued or something, or like great, very great. Then they had good, and then, or yeah, good and then fair. But I don't remember which one I picked. I probably picked fair because I knew, you know, it's a gamble. I think they did have a hand pick option too, that you could actually pick the exact one that you want by looking at it. But I knew that whatever condition it came in, I would clean it up, and I did. I do remember I paid $239 for this. So I mean, I think it was a great deal. When I first saw it, I thought, I don't know, $239 seems kind of high now, because the finish was really bad. It wasn't like just wear from a holster. It was just, I don't know, if it just was really scuffed up on everywhere. There was no like patina to it. I don't know what happened to the finish, but it was pretty bad. From what my understanding is, when they discontinued issuing these, or whatever they did, for what other reason, or one reason or another, they just tossed these in a big crate and left them in a warehouse for 50 years. And finally opened up that warehouse, took them out, and started selling them to the States. I'm sure they are selling them everywhere. Now, like I said, this is the Yugoslavian version of the original Russian tt-33, which is tokarev. Tokarev designed the tt-33. The Yugoslavian one is Zastava, which Zastava is actually known for making really good AK-47s. This is a very, very durable, very reliable weapon. I've never had one malfunction, not one jam, not even a stovepipe, nothing. I've never had a problem with this. It is a very nice shooter. It's as accurate as you are. The sights are kind of low profile. Now, this was designed in 1933, right before the World War II started, and Germany invaded Russia. And I guess I don't need to give a whole history lesson of what happened there, but this was the pistol that was issued to the military, the Russian military, for their sidearms, for the guys that got sidearms. This is what they carried through and fought with in World War II. I think one of the reasons they had a machine gun, a submachine gun, the PPSH. Somebody will correct me, like 42 or something, that shot the same size round that this does. Now this actually shoots a 7.62 by 25 millimeter. In circumference, it's just a little bit smaller than a 9, but the casing is, you know, it carries more powder. It's a longer round. It's very fast round too, by the way. The velocity on these, depending on what ammunition you get, is anywhere from 1300 to 1800. And this box that I have, I know it says it on here somewhere. I'll tell you right now, it's like 1650 feet per second. I guess it doesn't say it on here, but it's an 85 grain bullet. I thought it did say it on here. Anyway, I know I've been buying pretty much the same ammunition for 8 years now from the same place. It's always the same ammo. I know I've seen it somewhere, either on the box or maybe online or something, details about the ammo. The ammo that I got, regardless, it travels at 1600 feet per second, which is extremely fast. If you think your average 45 ACP travels at about like 850 feet per second, this is double the speed of a 45 ACP. This is double. This is the highest velocity pistol round that I know of. But what I was getting at is it's the same size round that the PPSH 41 or 42. Sorry guys, I don't know too much Russian history, but it was the same size round for that machine gun too, which from what I understand is a very fast shooting. I mean, it was the automatic. It was very quick. Anyways, so if you didn't have to mix and match ammo, you didn't have a sidearm that's a 45 ACP and then M1 Garand that's a 308, and then have to carry around different ammos. You had just one ammo size for 2 weapons, or maybe you know, you don't have a tokarev, but you got the machine gun, and the guy goes down and you need some more ammo, so you take the ammo off him. He had a pistol, but it's the same ammo. So it actually worked out really well. These are not the original grips. I ordered these online. I think they came from Pakistan for $80. They're about 7 years old now. The original grips are black plastic, and they just have like strip serrations, but they're like thick serrations, and there's a star in the center. The Yugoslavian version, for one, the grip is a little bit longer, and the tt-33, the tokarevs, theirs is a little bit shorter, and theirs is an 8-round mag. By the way, this is a 10-round mag, single stack. This is a thin framed gun. Easy to, it's very concealable. It's actually reminds me a lot of a 1911, more so the 1903 Browning, which evolved into what we know as the 1911, which was designed by John Browning. A lot of people think that it was Samuel Colt that designed in 1911 for some reason. I think maybe because those might be one of the more popular brands in 1911. So I'm thinking, oh, Tokarev, you know, might have admired what John Browning did in the pistol that he made, and this was his response. This was the Russian version. Their round shoots twice as fast as ours. It travels twice as fast as our 1911 rounds do. Let me see if I could show you, if the camera will pick it up. On the Yugo versions, Yugoslavian, there's a crest right there on the slide, the top of the slide, that you don't see on the other models. You don't see them on a tokarev, tt-33. Also, I know Romania makes has their own version, as well as Poland, and I think theirs have shorter grips too. I think they, maybe 8-round mags. I'm not sure how many different countries have their own version, but some versions look slightly different. Like for instance, the shorter grip, and also the serrations that might be on the Romanian one are these are like very close serrations, and the Romanian one, they're very the serrations are like thicker and like spread out more, like got a bigger gap. It looks kind of strange to me, but it's pretty neat too. This actually, I dated back the serial number on this one, and this was manufactured in 1962. So who knows? I mean, Russia's been involved in a lot of conflicts over the years. So this may have been a police officer's weapon, or it may have been somebody in the military. Maybe that's why it was in such rough shape when I got it. I had to take the old finish off, and I reblued this. Came out pretty good, and once I reblued it, I started to see the potential of how nice these actually can look. And most of them, they all are nice. This is really growing on me. It's just when I first saw it, it looked like an imitation 1911, and I didn't really understand the history behind it. I thought maybe it was just like a cheaper 1911, but go to find out that, you know, this is actually a high quality, very well made, very reliable, as reliable as an AK-47, some may say. Let me do a disassemble for you. There's a pin right here, and you just push it so that these prongs get past that. That's step one. Okay, so see how I push that pin out away from that? Now this breaks down like a 1911. You're gonna push on that pin, which is your takedown lever. Actually, you don't even gotta pull the slide back. Most 1911s, you gotta get the lever lined up with a notch in the slide. Anyway, lever comes right out, slide comes off the frame. One thing I want to show you, this is a whole trigger block, or assembly. I forget what they call it, but if you have something wrong with your trigger, you could just buy a whole new little trigger kit. Just sits in there. Now this thing that's like a 1911 look-alike is, I'll show you. Take your guide rod out, and it has a barrel bushing, and you turn it just like you would on a 1911, and the barrel comes out forward just like a 1911, and it looks very similar to the inside of a slide on a 1911. We all know when you take a gun apart, the way to put it back together is just reverse what you did. So put the barrel in first, get the barrel bushing on after you put the barrel on, so we can get the guide rod and the spring in here. Sorry if I'm moving off camera. I have a weird setup. I'm doing this on my phone, and I don't have a camera stand or anything like that, or a phone stand. Take my phone, put my trigger block back in. Just kind of sits there. Nothing. You don't have any pins or anything to pull to take that out. It just comes right off. Get it lined up. I push down on the block usually to make sure it's clear. Sometimes the slide might hang up on that. And you line up your little O-ring through that hole so you can put I'm sorry guys, so you can put your, this is your breakdown pin back in. Now once you get that pin back in, remember this guy, this this pin, I'm not sure what you call it, latch of some sort, has to push forward so those prongs wrap around that pin. And now good to go. It's got a very I'll tell you, it's a lot lighter than a 1911 is, but and of course the ergonomics are different than the 1911. 1911s come out more this way with their grip. This is more like almost up and down, but this is really, it's not, you think that it would be an awkward grip, and maybe the first time you pick it up, it feels a little funny, but I mean, it really grows on you real fast. I mean, this Tokarev guy that designed the tt-33 must have known something about ergonomics way back then, because it is a natural feel. It's just not what us as Americans are used to when we see this gun, and you know, that resembles a 1911 very much, but doesn't have that classic beaver tail up here. And obviously the grip doesn't flare out in it, but I mean, it looks a lot like a 1911, but you really can't compare the two. I mean, it's a totally different thing. The kick on it kicks less than a 9, but yet it shoots up to 1,800 feet per second, and it's deadly accurate. The parts on this are easy to find, aftermarket parts. You would think that since these were all surplus, and they're all like from the 50s and 60s, or some of the 40s, maybe even the 30s. I'm not sure when they quit manufacturing these, but I think it was sometime in the 60s. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I even just forgot what I was talking about, but it's all around. It's a great gun. I mean, has a lanyard at the bottom, has a lanyard there as well. I did want to talk about how, you know, I said I don't know how many countries manufacture their own version of this, but I know that roughly around 50 countries have issued this, either the tt-3 or the m57 or whatever version, the Romanian version or the Polish version, have been circulated to 50 different countries that they issue them to their police or their military. I think to this day, maybe the Chinese police. I know you see them, you find them in Afghanistan, but they're usually in rougher shape, and that's because the Russians, I think in the late 70s up until like the mid or late 80s, were fighting a war with the Taliban, I think it was, and you know, some of their weaponry got left behind with the dead, and you know, those Afghanis, they pick up everything. So you'll see them over there, not in great shape. You'll see them China, Korea, obviously like the Slavic countries, Pakistan, Vietnam. Even they used the NVA used probably the VC2, who knows, had these as sidearms sometimes too. Now, I mean, this is just another example of a well-designed gun. It's pretty basic, but it's really got a beauty to it. I mean, it's just a great gun. With either version that you have, if you have the Yugoslavian version, if you have the Russian version or the Polish version or the Romanian version, I mean, they're all really good weapons. And I think they still have them for in surplus for sale. And also the trigger feels just like a 1911. The break, it's like a 5.5 pound. It feels like. but you can still find these. There's places that I know they make this. Who is it? Maybe it's Norinco. The Chinese company started making reproductions of these. So they sell reproductions of these as surplus, which they're really not surplus. They'll usually have a safety up here. These do have an aftermarket safety. In order to import these into the States, they had to add a safety. And the Yugoslavians, this is what their safety looks like, somewhere in the front right here. But usually the ones with the ones on the top, those are reproductions, and they're not real surplus. Although maybe some of them are. But I had a buddy that bought one brand new for, I think, $235, and his was different. It felt different. The action on it felt different. This is very, very smooth, like a very 1911-ish, like a high quality one too, you know. And his felt like gritty, and it was you could tell it was brand new by looking at it. The wear, there was no wear on it. The springs were real tight. And it just had this gritty feel. It was not the same. I don't know if it's Norinco that's making those. I don't know what they're doing that's different, but they're just not the same standard. I would say this is extremely durable. It'd probably be very difficult to get this to jam or malfunction. You'd probably have to throw it in a swamp, and then once it's wet from swamp water, throw it in the desert and bury it and take it out, and I don't know, and it probably would still function. It would probably still shoot and everything. It eject. It'd probably put another round in the chamber, and you could just keep shooting. That's how good this, like the AKs, the torture test that you see people do. You could do that with this. I would bet that you would do that with this. But those reproductions, I would not think that you could do that. What I'm saying is, the reproduction, if that's all you can get, that's great. You still got one. They still shoot the same round. Just the authentic feel of this is just a little different, and that's just my opinion. I only saw one of the reproductions. But what my point is I would trust this to be much more durable than the ones being made brand new today. As far as ammo goes, prices before the pandemic, they were about $21 a box for 50 rounds. I did see hollow points for these, because if you were going to use this as a carry weapon, 1,650 feet per second, that's you're likely going to shoot through and through somebody, and you got to watch your backdrop. If there's people behind, that's no good. So it's not a good self-defense weapon. I did see hollow points. I'm not sure how well they would get absorbed inside a body, but they were a little bit more expensive. It was $20 for 20 rounds. This was about 7 years ago, probably, when I started looking them up, because I was thinking about carrying this, but I knew it was just an excessive round. Too much velocity, and velocity beats armor. Anyways, guys, again, this is the Zastava M57 Yugoslavian version of the Tokarev tt-33. I think that's about it. I can't wait to get to the range. I want to say this to you guys, anybody that's been watching my videos. I have recently found ammo with pretty decent prices, not too excessive, still a little high. These people are really taking advantage of the shortage, and people out there hoarding ammo, please stop that. What do you need to hoard all this ammo for? When shit goes down, you're not going to have time to grab more than one gun, maybe, if you're lucky, or two, depending on how fast things go down. Anyways, you're not going to be able to carry fucking 10,000 rounds of 9mm. Excuse my language, but there's guys out there hoarding that much ammo. if you got to move, ammo is heavy. You cannot take that much. You don't need that much. What I'm saying is stop hoarding ammo. Let some of us get it and let those prices drop down. As soon as they do, I'm going to take probably a day to do 2 or 3 of these weapons that I've already reviewed on the channel. Maybe I'll do all the 9s to that, all the 9mm. Because I did find some 9mm ammo. And then as soon as I can get ammo for the 45 and more ammo for this, I'll do those on the same. Anyways, there's more to come from this. You'll get to see these in action, and I'll get to basically back up what I've been talking about, so you know I'm not full of it. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and look out for the next video.